other words, you're complementing and supporting the continuity of power supply then for Taiwan. Horace, is this a pro bono public service, or is this monetized or commercialized in some way?
No, it is actually monetized. We believe, the thesis has always been to do good and do well, right? Sustainability is about not just, creating solutions that you can actually, turn green, but at the same time, leveraging the solutions that you already have so that you can actually create more opportunity for the business to be prosperous.
Welcome back to another video about virtual power plants, NIO, and what's going to happen with the energy transition and what role battery swapping could play. In my Patreon community, in response to my last video where I started about the topic of what's currently happening with virtual power plants in China, I got a really cool response here who pointed me towards an article here, which I'm now to open, which is called Gogoro. I'm possibly not pronouncing this correctly. However, what it is essentially a electric scooter company that is using battery swapping. I think you possibly have seen this before. So this is like how the swap stations are looking. And in this video, I will be discussing what's the significance here that this company is partnering up with NL in order to help to balance the grid using battery swap stations. So stay tuned for this video. By the way, if you haven't seen the first video yet, then go watch it first, and then also make sure to be subscribed to this channel. Anybody who isn't subscribed yet, and I see there are still 40% watching and not subscribed, please go and do this now. Also, this is the time now to hit the like, so this video will get in front of more people. Thank you very much. Now this is out of the way, we can head into this press release, which is April 18th, so this year, and reads: Gogoro and NLX accelerate Taiwan's energy transition with integration of virtual power plant and 2,500 battery swap stations across more than 1,000 locations. So interestingly, they're doing the exact same thing that I said NIO should enable in order to find new income streams for battery swap stations, and therefore basically enable a whole lot of new business model options. Because once again, this is a unique mode for NIO here. They are building the infrastructure of battery swap stations, and they are separating both the vehicle chassis and the body from the battery, basically getting the ownership out of the way of the customer, and therefore enabling actually also use cases such as feeding energy back into the, or pushing energy back into the grid, something that would be at least a little bit more difficult in case that the consumer would want to do this if they are owning the battery, because of course they don't want to have the battery degradation, right? Now I'm going to show you the snippet of the CNBC interview here, and the fact that they are coming out and publicly stating that they are partnering up with NL in order to engage in such virtual power plants activities is, in my view, a great confirmation that not only another player with battery swap stations, but also from the energy side, a big energy company is buying into this idea and therefore verifying this market.
It really is part of a three-step process for us. The first step you probably saw last year, Gogoro really participate with the electric grid to stop charge or stop taking energy when the grid actually cannot supply it. So we can dynamically stop charge, and that was the first step in the pilot. The second step in the pilot was safely and reliably being able to push energy back to the grid. So on an hourly basis, Taiwan Power actually has a bidding process for basically who can actually supply this energy back to the grid, shall the grid actually demand it. And so it creates a secondary, second revenue stream without creating any additional cost to the company. These are batteries and stations that are already deployed, and we use the excess energy that we have already to actually push that back to the grid and sell it back, so to speak, right? So there's a bidding process and an offer charge process for us. And then really the third step for us to really realize the entire vision, which is coming around the corner for us, is really full energy storage solutions that uses our batteries when it comes off the vehicle riding grid and onto, I don't believe, we don't really quickly believe in recycling yet. We think there's just so much more juice and so much more energy in batteries, even beyond mobility, that we can actually cluster these up and create a legitimate big-scale energy storage solution.
And this is not coming just from somebody, but NL is actually claiming to be the largest private world energy distribution company.
At NLX, where we work, we're developing new opportunities to leverage digital platforms to decarbonize and electrify energy use. Globally, we have market-leading positions in virtual power plants, distributed energy storage systems, and electric vehicle charging platforms.
So this is a huge, big buy-in by a large player. And if we just think again about NIO's position in the Chinese market, and also the fact that China really has a big need for such a kind of a grid balancing due to their tremendous amount of building out renewables. By the way, they are building like a vast amount and very, very fast in comparison to other countries. Maybe an unknown fact out there. But anyways, this puts NIO in a huge, big position, I think, to make a strong deal, at least in China, when it comes to possibly partnering up with the grid providers or maybe other big companies in this matter. So this is where I see lots of cooperation and partnership opportunity for NIO. And the fact that both another big utility company as well as another battery swapping provider sees the economic potential of this is, in my point of view, a great confirmation of the business case. And I think NIO should just go along that way. And in case of NIO, that would obviously play a much, much bigger role, since NIO will have more battery swap stations than this scooter provider, and also the batteries are much larger. And of course, NIO's big ambitions as a provider for electric vehicles. So the real potential here for NIO and the partnering company here would be much, much larger than what has started here with this electric scooter company. And so with my first video about what's going on in China, plus seeing such kind of a first initiatives, I'm getting more and more confident that there is actually something going to happen with NIO. But that's just speculation here for now still. Maybe this has been the hidden plan behind battery swap stations all along with NIO, and that's why also they want to build it out as fast as possible. And that might be the secret game plan here for NIO. Much to look forward to. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Let me know down in the comments what you think about these ideas. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video.